Hey yo, what is up everybody? Coach Chad here, the CEO of the Next Level Coaching Academy and the creator of the Fit CEO podcast. And today we got business tips for you guys in 20 minutes or less. So let's go ahead and rock and roll. Man, I'm filming three things at once here. I got a podcast going on the left-hand side. I'm staring at the camera for YouTube. We got an Instagram live going in the bottom right-hand side. We're freaking rocking and rolling, baby. So let's dive in. What are we going to be talking about today? What we're going to be talking about today is what I like to call the trust recession. This is what I think is the biggest threat to the coaching space right now. Now, of course, we got AI on the horizon, and AI is going to be a huge disruptor of the online coaching space. But I think right now, in this moment in time, the trust recession is the challenge that most coaches are faced with. Right? A lot of people hear like, oh my God, the economy is bad, the economy is bad. Look, the economy isn't great, but consumer spending is still really high. People are still going out, they're still spending money, they're still traveling, there's still money circulating in the economy. So I don't think the economy is the biggest challenge. What I think is the biggest challenge is the trust recession. So let's go ahead and break it down, and let's give you a strategy on how to combat the trust recession as well. So what the heck is the trust recession when it pertains to the online coaching space? Well, let's break it down. So here it is. There is a lot more coaches in 2024 than there was in even 2020 or 2015 when I got started. All right, I got started in online coaching in 2015. There was a handful of coaches. Everybody knew everybody. Fast forward almost a decade later, and there is more and more coaches that are pouring into the space. Now, check out this fact. All right, if you could look this up online, so you could fact check me as well. In 2022, the online coaching space was valued at $16 billion. All right, now by 2032, so in a 10-year time span, it's projected to be valued at $257 billion. That is a 16x increase over that 10-year span. 16x increase. That's fucking insane. Right? That is a lot more coaches that are going to be pushed into this market. All right, so that is why we have a trust recession, because there are so many different options for consumers, right? So when consumers are trying to decide, do I go with this coach? Do I go with this coach? They are confused. They are perplexed. They don't know what direction to go, and that is where the lack of trust lies. There's an increase in skepticism. All right, I'm going to throw a lot of different facts your way today. So check this out. And if you see me looking over to the left-hand side, I prepared this whole entire talk, okay? So check this out. All right, I just hired a business coach, and this business coach used to work for Tony Robbins, so very trusted source, and he told me this particular statistic. So it used to take people 7 to 20 times to see 7 to 20 pieces of content from you before making a decision that you were the right coach that they needed to go with. All right, so it used to take 7 to 20 pieces of content for a consumer to make a decision that they're going to move forward with you as their coach. You want to take a guess? You want to take a guess on what that number is now? What that number is now is 34. People need to see you, your content, your brand 34 times before making the ultimate decision that you are going to be the coach that they are going to get coached by. That is double, triple, quadruple, in some cases 5 times more pieces of content that need to be consumed before deciding that you're going to be the coach. Right? If that doesn't scream trust recession, then I don't know what does. All right, so it's extremely important. Everything I'm about to tell you right now is extremely important if you want to be able to learn how to navigate this trust recession, all right? This is the overall philosophy. Am I going to get deep in the weeds with you today? No, probably not, but if you can implement this overall philosophy, this mindset, this approach to business that I'm about to talk about, you'll have no problem navigating this trust recession. All right, so let's talk about the strategy. So I coined this strategy the inside out strategy. All right, so essentially what the premise is a lot of coaches are focused on the outside in, all right, which is the opposite of inside out. Go figure. All right, so what outside-in approach looks like is they care more and they put more attention into their prospects, into their potential clients than they put into their own fucking clients. All right, and if you want to know the fastest way to lose trust, if you want to know the fastest way to absolutely ruin your brand, is to take that approach. It's to focus more on the people you're trying to sell into the program than the people that actually invested their hard-earned money into you and your program. So it's got to be the opposite. All right, it's got to be an inside-out approach. You got to focus on the people who have already invested in you, and when you focus and double down on the people that have already invested in you, guess what? The trust is going to permeate out. All right, the trust from your clients, the positive word of mouth, the referrals, it's going to permeate out, and you're going to build a brand that is notable. You're going to build a brand that is trustworthy, and therefore you're going to be able to navigate and break down this barrier, this trust recession. All right, so I'm going to get more specific. I got 4 tactical strategies for you guys to do to execute this inside out strategy. All right. But I said I'm going to be hitting you with facts, right? I said I'm going to be hitting you with facts. So the next fact that I got here is it costs 7 times more to acquire a client than it does to retain a client, right? So to back this whole notion that you should be focusing from the inside out and not the outside in, just think about that for a second. It costs your business 7 times more, not just in monetary value, but also with your time, right? With your time, which is extremely precious when you're a business owner. It costs you 7 times more to acquire a new client than it does to retain an old client. That's pretty freaking crazy. All right, I got another fact to back this inside out strategy, all right? So negative word of mouth spreads a hell of a lot faster than positive word of mouth. So check out this stat. Like I said, if you see me looking off to the left-hand side here, I took detailed notes for this bad boy, all right? Detailed notes for this bad boy. So negative word of mouth spreads faster and reaches more people compared to positive feedback. All right, 96%, check this out, 96% of unhappy customers don't complain directly to the company, but share their negative experience with 9 to 15 other people. That's fucking crazy. Additionally, check this out, additionally, 13% of unhappy customers will share their negative experience with over 20 people. That's fucking insane. All right, 96% of unhappy customers do not go directly to the company and say, hey, I'm unhappy. Instead, on average, they go to 9 to 15 of their friends and tell them about their negative experience, right? Negative word of mouth travels a hell of a lot faster than positive word of mouth. And the worst part about it is the fact that those 96% of people aren't even going to tell you about it. So you can't even fix the problem. That's how freaking important it is to focus from the inside out instead of the outside in, right? Which I can guarantee you right now, majority of coaching companies are focusing on the outside in. They're spending a hell of a lot more time with their leads and their prospects than they're spending with their actual own clients. All right, here's another one. 86% of buyers cite that word of mouth recommendations are the most influential factor in their purchasing decision, right? So not only does negative word of mouth spread faster than positive word of mouth, but the people who do decide to buy with you, 86% of them say that the most important thing is getting a reference, is getting a referral, is getting somebody else to say, you know what, yes, I do, you should work with that company. Somebody to give them that gentle push. That's how important this shit is, y'all. All right. So let's go ahead and get into the 4 tactical things. Like I said, the inside out strategy includes 4 tactical things. Now, these are high level, right? So these are philosophies, but if you can implement these philosophies into your business and you can truly focus from the inside out, I promise you, your business will have no problem navigating this trust recession. All right, so very first one. This one's the simple one, all right? We're gonna start with an easy one, but very, very simple. If you are faced with a decision, meaning you have limited time and you are faced with a decision where you can spend your time on acquiring new clients or servicing your current clients, always choose servicing your current clients. Remember, it costs you 7 times more to acquire a new client than it does to retain a current client, right? So in this market, in this trust recession, you should be making decisions Now, there's leeway here, right? Obviously, you need to sign clients. Obviously, you need to continue to bring new people in, right? But if push comes to shove, and you're faced with the decision of servicing your current clients or acquiring new clients, when push comes to shove, you got to choose servicing your current clients. All right. So that's point number one. Now, point number two. Be the company that focuses on praise over punishment. All right, now more stats and then I'm going to make sense of that. All right, but write this one down. Be the company that focuses more on praise than on punishment. Check this out. All right, so most companies have punishment as their main focus of motivation. All right, written warnings, yelling, screaming, demeaning, and not only is this company to staff, but this is also company to client as well, right? Most people aren't doing positive recognition. Most people are using punishment as their main force of motivation here. All right, check out this stat. All right, this stat is going to be talking about employees. This stat is going to be talking about staff members, but it's also very interchangeable with clients as well. Check this out. 57% of employees cited harassment or misconduct as the reason for leaving their job. And I guarantee if you polled your clients right now, I guarantee a large percentage of the clients that left because they felt they were being mistreated. In some way, shape, or form, they didn't feel that they were being treated to the degree that they deserved to be treated, and that's why they left your program. And majority of them are never going to tell you that, but I guarantee if we hook them up to a lie detector test, that's what they would say. All right, most people, here's the thing, most people don't believe in themselves. Most people don't believe in themselves, and most people don't have a support group that believes in them either. That's why it's so important to be the company that focuses more on praise than on punishment. All right, here's one more statistic to back the fact that praise works. All right, a study found that 87% of employees feel more motivated by recognition and praise than by monetary rewards alone. I'm going to say that again because that's freaking crazy. A study found that 87% of employees are more motivated by praise and recognition than money. That's fucking crazy, y'all. That's fucking crazy. And guess what? If that's the case for employees, it's the case for your staff members as well. People crave recognition. People crave support. Like I said, people don't have support systems. People don't believe in themselves. So you gotta be the company that provides praise over punishment. All right, so how exactly does this work, right? What praise over punishment? It's a nice saying, it's a nice thing to say, but tactically, how the heck does that actually even work? Here's how it works, all right? We're gonna talk about 4 different ways to recognize your clients. All right, number 1 is private recognition. So private recognition is reaching out directly to the client in a one-to-one capacity and shouting them out or recognizing them for a specific behavior. All right, and I'm going to tell you guys what you should be shouting people out for here in a second, but right now I'm just telling you the different modalities, the different ways that you could be shouting people out. All right, so number 1 is private recognition at a one-to-one level. All right, a lot of people love being recognized at the one-to-one level because it is the most intimate level, right? Especially if they really look up to you. Right? And everybody does. In the coaching space, if somebody hires you as their coach, they really look up to you. So it means a lot to them if you reach out to them in a one-to-one degree and you shout them out or recognize them for a certain behavior. All right, number 2, community recognition. All right, community recognition is when you shout them out for a certain behavior in front of the community. Right, so in the context of online coaching, this could be in your remote community, right? So if you have a Facebook group, a WhatsApp group, a Kajabi group, a school group, whatever it is that you facilitate your community, if you shout somebody out in front of the whole entire community, they feel that sense of accomplishment, right? They feel that sense of importance, right? They feel that sense of, man, like I'm dominating it, right? So they feel really good about that. Now, community recognition. There's nothing else I wanted to say about community recognition. I had a brain fart. Let's keep rocking and rolling. All right, the next one here is public recognition. All right, so we have private recognition, one-to-one. We have community recognition in front of the clients. And then we have public recognition as well. All right, public recognition, which sounds very similar to community recognition, it's not, is when you praise a client or recognizing a client in front of the public. All right, so in the context of online fitness coaching, this would be on your social media, right? So not in front of your client community, but in front of your whole entire public or your social media brand, right? So this could look like posting on your story, shouting out a client, right? Making an actual client highlight post on your page, right? Bringing it public, bringing it beyond just the scope of your client base. All right. The last level of recognition is probably the most important. And if you can accomplish this level of recognition, then you know that your client community is top fucking notch. All right, and that is client to client recognition. All right, so you know that you've built a culture around praise and recognition when your clients start recognizing your other clients, right? When your clients start shouting out your other clients, where you don't even have to be in the group constantly shouting people out. You open up your group page and you see other clients shouting out other clients. Once you accomplish that, you know that you fucking made it. All right, but here's the thing, it's gonna take some hard work, all right? It's gonna take you really driving the ship to get to that point. And if you drive the ship for 90 days, 6 months, that's when you're gonna start seeing the client-to-client recognition, when you really ingrain it into your culture. All right, the next thing I wanna talk about with recognition is what are the things that you should be recognizing, all right? I can get into the nitty-gritty specifics and we can have a very long list, but here's really the key thing that you wanna keep in mind. All right, the key thing that you want to keep in mind is you want to shout out for overall actions, behaviors, and character traits. All right, the question that you should really be asking before you shout somebody out is, if I shout this person out for this action, for this behavior, for this character trait, is this something that I would want somebody else to do? Because public recognition creates culture. Why? Because you're highlighting the person for the thing that they did, and everybody else who remember, these people crave recognition more so than money. 87% of people crave recognition more so than money. They're gonna look at that person and say, shit, so-and-so got shouted out for doing XYZ, I should do XYZ, right? So whatever you shout people out for, it is going to positively reinforce to the rest of the group that this is the right behavior. These are the right action items. Here, this is what we do inside of this culture, right? So public recognition is extremely powerful, and the things that you should be recognizing people for are actions, behaviors, and character traits that you want your culture to stand for. All right, that's point number 2. All right, so point number 3 with this inside out strategy is scaling the unscalable. All right, so what scaling the unscalable means is, well, let me backtrack for a second. This world is becoming very automated, right? And when things become automated, there's obviously value in automation, right? The value is it's convenient, it's fast, it gets results. But when it comes to human interaction, anything that's deemed as convenient does not have as much value. Let me prove that point, all right? So here's what I mean. If you did business with somebody and you got a printed card, right? A printed card, right? Something that very easily with a click of a button could be sent to your front doorstep, right? And maybe you've had this experience. Maybe you've opened up your mailbox, right? And you looked and you did business with somebody and they sent you a printed card. I guarantee you, 1, you probably didn't fucking read it, and 2, you probably threw it in the fucking trash. Why did you throw it in the trash? Because it's a printed card. It has no value. It wasn't inconvenient for the person who had to create it. All they had to do was click a fucking button, right? But if you did business with somebody and they gave you a handwritten card, meaning they actually took time out of their day to fucking write you a letter, right? Then that is considered inconvenient, therefore it is more valuable. Somebody actually went out of their way to take their time to write you that handwritten card. All right, I know I'm talking to a lot of fitness people right now. If you've ever done business with First Form, they crush this. Every single time I've ordered supplements from First Form, guess what's in the box? A handwritten card. Guess what I feel every single time? A sense of importance. Wow, that person went out of their way to write me a handwritten card. That's fucking cool. All right, that's what I'm talking about with scaling the unscalable. All right, scaling the unscalable is doing inconvenient shit in human-to-human interactions that is perceived as, wow, this person went out of their way. Wow, this person really thought of me. Man, that had an element of surprise, right? That is scaling the unscalable. All right, so giving you guys some tactical examples here. Handwritten cards, surprise gifts, all right, texting your calls. At the end of the day, going back and texting your calls and saying, man, I really enjoyed when we talked about this today. I really think you're gonna crush this, right? Just sending them a little note, pulling a little piece from the call and re-bringing it up into text. All right, remembering important dates, birthdays, anniversaries, things of that nature. Getting their family involved. I do this with my staff members. I will literally write a handwritten card, not for my staff member, but I'll write it for their kids. And I'll say, hey, I just want you to know your dad's an absolute rock star. Your dad did this, changed these lives. I'll do that with my staff members. All right, getting their family involved is extremely important. All right, next one here, sending additional value and resources. Randomly just saying, hey, I created this resource for you. Or lastly, creating anything custom. All right, this is scaling the unscalable. This is doing the inconvenient shit that matters. This is doing the inconvenient shit that builds that human-to-human relationship. When you have the human-to-human relationship, you build trust, right? We're talking about crushing the trust recession here. All right, last one, point number 4. Instagram, I hope you guys are enjoying this. Podcast, I hope you guys are enjoying this. YouTube, I hope you guys are enjoying this. All right, number 4 here, be a show worth paying for. All right, if you are going to build trust, if you are going to beat the trust recession, you have to be a show worth paying for, right? What are we talking about here? We're talking about the fact that there are so many other coaches in the industry, right? So if you are a person, if you are a show that is worth paying for, then people are inherently going to trust you because you're providing value to their life, right? Don't be fucking boring. Right? People don't just pay for education anymore. People pay for entertainment and education combined. Let me give you an example. I have a couple of examples here. All right, this one's for the ladies. All right, you probably know your hairdresser's name, right? How do you know your hairdresser's name? Because they are entertaining. They are a show that is worth paying for. When you go into the hair salon and you hang out with that person and you're there for an hour or 2 hours, the whole entire time you're building a relationship. The whole entire time you're having a conversation. That is a show worth paying for. If you just went to the hairdresser, they didn't say anything, they didn't know anything about your life, you didn't know anything about their life, you'd probably say, man, this hairdresser is pretty boring. I'm gonna go find a different one. Right? Why? Because you don't just care about the haircut, you care about the experience, right? That is being a show worth paying for. All right, let me give you another example. When you go to a restaurant and you have a waiter that is very transactional, right? They take your order, they bring out their food, and that's it. Your experience is probably not really great, but when you go to a restaurant and they make it an experience, right? They share the story. Every single time they bring out a new plate, they share the story of the plate. When they bring out a new bottle of wine, they share the story of the wine. They ask about you, they make you laugh. That is a show worth paying for. You want to continue to go back to that restaurant because they provided more than just the expected. Be a show worth paying for. Don't be a transactional coach. Be an experience for your clients. All right, that's what I'm talking about here. All right, y'all, that is going to be the conclusion of this podcast, of this Instagram Live, of this YouTube video, giving you